This is the Senior Sportsmanship League race at Mid-Ohio on August 11th, 2025, racing the F4. On the pole, Richard Franco from the Mid-Atlantic area. Front row, Craig Vaught from Arkansas. Next row, Steve Kartner from Canada. Donald Strout, Chief Stewart from Pennsylvania. Bob Mills from Ohio, this is his home track. Followed next to him, Jean-Paul Epp from Belgium. Bruce Poole from the Maritimes of Canada. Bill Smithen from South Carolina. Gene Moore from South Carolina. And Phil Peterson from California. Formation lap. This is a 15-lap sprint race. Richard Franco is this series' previous championship last season. And they're off. Going through turn one, maintaining side by side according to the league rules. Now it's open racing. Through the keyhole, Franco builds a small lead over Craig Vaught. Both Franco and Vaught are pulling away from the number 3 car, a P3 car, which is Donald Strout. He got ahead of Steve Kartner at the beginning. Bob Mills is following closely. And the rest of the field is tight behind. John Paul, Bruce Poole, Bill Smithen, Gene Moore, and Phil Peterson. They're going through Thunder Valley into the carousel. So far, everybody's under full control. No spins, no collisions. Down the straightaway, through turn one. Close to that yellow curb if you want to go fast. Richard Franco is doing a professional job here. Pulling away slightly from Craig Vaught, but not too much. They're closing a little bit in the keyhole, but he pulls away down the next straight. Let's take a look from Richard's cockpit view. Entering turn 4, braking, down in the third gear. Stay right, go tight against this curb. Max throttle through this turn. This is the S's, critical to good times at this track. One of the most difficult corners there is here. As you go over the hill, you have to maintain pretty much full speed without slowing too much. Critical aspect is this carousel where the not much camber on the track. Here's Craig Vaught right behind him. Kartner and Strout following Vaught. Bob Mills is right on the tail of Steve Kartner. Bill Smithen is one of our faster drivers. He's chomping at the bit here, following behind Bruce Poole. Gene Moore and Phil Peterson following up. Let's go back up to the front. Looks like Bill's going to try a pass on Bruce. Clean pass. Both cars cooperating to make it a safe pass. Bruce knew that Bill had the speed. So Bill sets his sights on Jean-Paul. Got to say, Bob Mills is doing a great job here keeping up with the front leaders. Like I said, this is his home track. He's actually driven SCCA 240Z cars here in real life. Through the keyhole. Kartner challenges Strout. Thinks better of it. Tucks in behind. Let's see how they go through turn 4 together. Strout actually must have made a mistake there. He went way too wide to the left going through turn 5. Looks like Strout may be rattled by Kartner following him. He's missing his apexes and missing his lines. Probably looking in his mirror too much. All right. The field is spreading out just a bit. Doesn't look like Smithen has pulled up much on Jean-Paul. Bruce Poole is still close behind. Gene Moore is following both of them. Looks like Bruce Poole might actually challenge Bill Smithen into this corner into keyhole. Thinks better of it. The order remains the same. Franco, Vaught, Strout, and Kartner. Oh, Strout spins, loses control in turn 4. Sits there as the rest of the field. He backs off the track, lets the field go by. Phil Peterson spun coming out of turn 5. Pulls out ahead of Strout safely. Richard Franco still in the lead. Craig Vaught following with quite a gap building here. Steve Kartner's right behind Craig Vaught. Bob Mills is tagging right along. They're not able to pull away from him. The gap between Bob Mills and Jean-Paul is extended. Smithen can't catch Jean-Paul. Looks like a race between Bruce Poole and Bill Smithen. Gene Moore following behind. Phil Peterson lost a lot of time in that spin in turn 5. Strout is behind him. Let's see if there's if Strout can gain any distance here against Peterson in turn 4. Strout is pulled up pretty close to Peterson here, going through the S's. Peterson did a good job going over that hill. Carousel will tell the story going onto this straightaway and through turn 1. Let's see what happens. moves and spins coming, exiting turn 1. Looks like Bill Smithon is now ready to start challenging Jean-Paul. I'd say the star of the show here is Bob Mills, who is doing a great job keeping up with these front leaders. Franco is building up his lead. The gap is now probably about 5 car lengths, maybe 6. Everybody's turning 122.4 through 6, 122.4, 122.5, 122.6, thereabouts. Actually, Craig Vaught turned a faster lap there than Richard Franco did. 122.4 for Franco, 122.2 for Craig. Partners 122.1. So was Bob Mills, 122.1. They'll soon be racing below the 122 mark. So there's just the right amount of distance to have a little bit of a draft here. Not enough to be able to overtake, but enough to increase your speed. Different drivers take this path over the hill quite differently. A lot of them are using 4th gear. Several of them are using 3rd gear. Doesn't seem to make a big difference in lap times. Just driver style and comfort. Some like to have the engine screaming and at full throttle going over that corner. Some like to modulate the throttle more carefully using 4th gear. Same with turn 1. Some drivers are going through here in 4th. Other drivers are using 5th all the way through. So Bruce Poole has passed Bill Smithon. Bill Smithon made an error, went a little bit off track. One ran wide, allowed Bruce Poole to pull ahead. It looks like Craig is catched up. Craig Vaught is now pulling up closer to Richard Franco. Last lap was almost below the 122 mark. Craig was almost 0.6 of a second quicker. Actually, Steve Kartner broke below 122 with a 121.8 last lap. Really hard to pass at this track. You got to be really on someone's tail in order to get any advantage when you come onto the straightaway here. This is way too much distance, then Craig won't be able to challenge Richard there. So there's actually 2 packs of cars here, the first 4 and then these 3. Bill Smithon, Bruce Poole, and Jean-Paul. Donald Stroud is trying to catch up because of his spin back on lap 4. So this pack is turning 122, mid 122 laps. Go up to the front. And this pack is turning about 2 or 3 tenths quicker per lap. So they're extending the lead a bit. Everybody's doing a great job driving here. Bruce Poole is right behind Jean-Paul, and Bill Smithson right behind him. Stroud is catching up a bit. Stroud turns the fastest lap here with a 1:21.6 in this race on lap 11, which is coming up right now. Fast through turn 1 is close to that yellow curb on the left and use the complete track on exit, which is what Stroud does here. Through the keyhole. Again, use all the track without getting an off track. Car gets really loose coming over that hill. You have to be very careful or you lose control. So Stroud was almost a second quicker there on that lap than this pack of 3 that turned 1:22.6. He turned a 1:21.6, so he gained quite a bit of distance on them. Doesn't matter. So Phil Peterson is back here, just coming onto the front straight. Gene Moore has already passed through the keyhole, approaching turn 4. Donald Stroud is just going through turn 5. The second pack of cars here is going through the S's, approaching Thunder Valley. Bill Smithson, Bruce Poole, John Paul. And here's this pack of 4 cars that have been racing together the entire race. Richard Franco, Craig Vaught, Steve Kartner. All turning 122, mid 122 laps. All right, we're now on lap 13. We have 15 laps here on this race, so we've got 13, 14, and 15 here. Let's see if there's going to be any moves on any of these guys' parts to try to change positions. More than likely, we're going to see Steve Kartner make an attempt to try to make a change in position here. All these 3 cars are capable of turning into the 121s. Most likely, Richard Franco is just being a little conservative, maintaining his line, or lead, I should say. And Craig Vaught is probably saying, well, I'll just keep following him because I can't seem to pass him. You can see Steve is trying real hard here. He's very fast through the keyhole, so let's see if he can pull Craig Vaught on this next straightaway. Nope, not going to do it. Craig got a good launch off the corner. Right next to the last lap, white flag. Stroud is catching up to this pack, but it doesn't matter because Not going to happen. He's not going to be able to get ahead of them. Looks like Bill Smithson might be making a move to try to improve his position by one position, moving from P7 into P6. But Bruce Poole's having none of it. Kartner's going to see if he can get really close to Vaught coming onto the straightaway. We will see. Steve missed his apex there. Probably his last chance to change of position. Doesn't look like Craig can catch Richard either. Oh, Steve's got a good launch coming out of the keyhole. Doesn't seem to be enough draft here in order to build a position for a pass going into turn 4. This race may have been decided by the qualifying positions. Now Strauss right with the pack of 4 here, coming to the end. All right, the race is over for the first guys. No, this is lap 15. Great race, fun for everyone. Mid-Ohio with the Senior Sportsmanship League, August 11th, 2025.